Max, your mustache looks somewhat trimmed today. What did you do to it? Did you get some mustache wax or something like that?
What? I actually trimmed it the other day.
I can tell. You trimmed like an inch off it.
Yeah, I just trimmed like the really long ones off. So now people probably won't be that.
You look less homeless today. You look homeless again because you got your gray generic hoodie on.
Yeah, well, it's a Vans hoodie, so it's not that generic, but
yeah, but it looks like a prison hoodie. So
Yeah, it does. It does.
I don't know. Anyway, we got
my prison water bottle as well. I won't show it on camera. So
that is gross. Don't show that water bottle. Don't show that water.
It's not gross, but it looks prison water bottle.
It does not look great. It does not look great. Anyway, you know what? We got a podcast to talk about. We had a lot of racing going on this past weekend. We got a big race coming up this weekend. So let's drop that intro and get to chatting RC.
Nitro is the glory, but Ebuggy pays the bills. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast. Get ready for some serious bench racing. But be warned, we speak our minds, express our thoughts, and sometimes things can get a little rowdy.
Hate, and he just was influenced by the hate coming from the left, the hate coming from the right.
And let's get back to more club racing and less of this money-grabbing book racing.
It's hard not to be arrogant when you're always right.
Yeah. See what I mean? That's exactly why people call you arrogant, Max.
You may not agree with everything we say, but it's definitely worth a listen.
And our pick, can you stop whatever you're doing?
Join your host, Lefty the Great, with co-hosts and guests as they get together to chat RC.
Hey, after that race that I watched this morning, I have to talk about
it. Here we go. $100 right here, $100 throw. Oh no! I like this.
Yes, indeed. Nitro's the glory, but Ebuggy pays the bills. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 168 of the No Name RC podcast. I'm your host, Keenan White, a.k.a. Lefty the Great. Over to my left is the arrogant, homeless one, Maximus Mortimus. What's up, Max? How are you?
I'm doing all right. Again, I mean, it's weird. Like, there are these sections where I just get busy with school, and then after I get done with those things, it's like I have nothing to do. So like right now I'm a bit busy again. Then hopefully at the end of the week I'm not that busy. But yeah. School,
that's school life, dude.
Yeah,
that's school life. That's how it goes. I've never been in that part of life, but I imagine that's how it goes. So yeah, I get all of that. I've seen lots of movies. It looks busy. So definitely have not experienced
only
that.
You see is the good parts. But
yeah.
I mean,
So I'm kind of been in my own little world here lately. My wife's been kind of had a little operation, so she's down for the count. So I've been having to do everything. It's our anniversary today, so happy anniversary to her. As we're recording this, it's Tuesday, and it's just been raining here, and I had to dig this out of the closet because like we haven't been able to wash clothes in like 10 days because we need sun to dry clothes. And there just hasn't been any sun.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't have like a dryer and all that stuff. So it's like, this is my I got this from Southside RC Raceway at the 2018 Nationals. It's a little snug. It's a little shrunken, little less lime greeny than it was, but it works. And, but yeah, all is good. Just lots of rain here in the DR and just rainy. But with that said, we have some news to talk about. There was a lot of racing this weekend. Before we do that, I want to say some thank yous and some shout outs. I want to shout out and say thank you to all of the NNRC squad around the world. We guys can't do without you guys. Thank you for all the support. I know we're knocking out podcasts quite fast, so it's hard to keep up, but we're trying something new. This week, it's only going to be one podcast, but last 2 weeks, it's been like one after the other. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys. The YouTube numbers are growing. Remember, if you haven't been over and hit that subscription button, notification button, hit a like or dislike, leave a comment on our YouTube channel. We're at almost 1,800 subs. We like to get it up to 2,000 or more. I don't see why not. The Facebook page has 4,800 likes or follows, so we should be able to get that. Shout out to the patrons of the podcast. We can't do it without you guys, the extra support. You guys are getting a Patreon only pod this week with Max and I. We'll record that after we record this. If you wish to be a patron of the podcast, you can. There's a link in the written description. Every little bit helps, guys. We greatly appreciate it. And shout out to the awesome sponsors that support this podcast. They are Visible Speed, PZO Tires, High Tech RC, TNR Fuels, Beach RC, Techno RC, Lugs Racing Tires, Mayako, JQSM, G-Spec RC Tuning, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, Racecraft USA, Clinic RC, JTP RC, RCGP. Shout out to them. They released their latest location, House of RC. If you haven't gone there and set up a profile, please go do that. And my good buddy RC Kevin, who's doing some good things. I think he's gonna have Tyler Hooks on this week or next week as a live. And shout out to my boy Uncle Ed's seasoning right up there. I got his seasoning out there. And I want to shout out to Sold Out app. Joe Don's cool guy, always updating, always on it. I see him, like the new Mugen came out. He's like, send me all the geometry so I can make the updates in the app. And Trick Lids, my buddy Steve Downs, he pushed out some decals for me for DNC. And he's doing a hoodie for me and stuff like that. So I appreciate that. So thank you to all that. Remember, everybody, show the sponsor some love, shows the podcast some love. We do have coupon codes, affiliate links. If you guys can use those, it helps us out. We greatly appreciate it. And, we still have a few slots of sponsors open. If you wish to be a sponsor, we have 1 or 2 spots left open. And come check us out. All right, Max, what's going on? It was a busy weekend. Lots of racing going on around the world, man. Lots of racing. Some silly season moves in Europe, late silly season moves in Europe. We got some DNC news to talk about today. Snowbirds as well. We'll talk about that real quick. The J Concepts INS race is what we're going to talk about probably a lot. And then we're going to go in and finish off with some chat about Montpellier GP and have a little preview of that. So first off, I want to start with a little bit of Euro silly season news. Now, I know the average person won't know these guys, but these guys are both very fast in their regions and doing very well. Carlos Duras, who features in my blog this week about Montpellier, fast Portuguese driver. I don't want to say rider. He goes to Nemo Agama. He will do well at this race in Montpellier. He's known for the guy that punted punted Lutz in the quarterfinal at Montpellier in 2020. Do you remember that?
I don't remember, but I remember Lutz being in the quarter. I don't think I ever watched it, but this guy is also very known for the widest possible stance on the driver's stand because he's very
super
tall.
Aggressive.
He's like aggressive on track, but like the way he stands on driver's stand because he's super tall and he likes to keep his leg quite wide, so he takes up a lot of space.
Is he taller than Joseph?
Probably not, but very close.
Okay. So this guy, I remember watching this quarterfinal, and I was like, "Oh, Lutz, it's near the end. I think Lutz thinks he has it." And I just see this all white car, that it was muddy too because it rained. And you just see this car coming and like, this guy is, I think it was all white. I can't remember. It was just muddy. And I knew it was Carlos Duras. And I remember him being fast the year before. And I was like, this guy's going to come. He's going to overtake Lutz. I saw it, just like about a minute before it happened. He was coming, and he got Lutz, and Lutz, I think, thought he had it during the last couple of laps, and he just punted poor Lutz. I think it was a fair pass, to be honest. He kind of just went over the inside of that thing and just was like, boop, see you later. He was just way faster, and he got the bump up to the semi, and Lutz didn't make it. So he's always going to be famous for that, for me, in my thoughts. And then Alias Johansen, we talked about him this past weekend. He made the A-main at the
US.
EOS, which there was an ETS this weekend too. I forgot all about that. I haven't even looked up results for
Oh
that.
yeah.
You can probably do that
Well,
real quick while we're doing that. He has joined Serpent full 8 scale and 10 scale. I know he was on HB previously, but he's been
yeah.
running these Serpent 10 scale cars, so I guess it only makes sense that he goes to the Serpent platform. So Serpent isn't dead; like it's still alive in Europe, man.
Oh, and Serpent has always had quite a big presence in Sweden, and I'm pretty
Yep.
sure this deal is mostly thanks to the distributor there, not so
Hmm.
much Serpent, the
Right.
factory.
Hmm.
But I mean, for sure, I think his deal is to the factory. Just the sort of handling of it was
Yes.
through Sweden. I actually really hope they sort of put some put some good into Serpent, because what they do in RC it is great. Like implementing new platforms, like the touring platforms.
Hmm.
A lot of stuff Billy Easton has done with the off-road cars, and in the past, Gerb Strange with Jorn, what they implemented the new platforms. So I'd be really excited to see sort of if Elias can bring him some results and then some sort of credibility to the brand and bring it back. I mean, Carlos Dura is also, he used to run Serpent in the past. So
Really.
yeah, so he, I think he was with Losi the last 2 years, but
Hmm.
he's been sort of running always sort of the brands that are not that popular. I can't remember the last time he ran a brand that was super popular at the time. So again, like this move to Nemo sort of fits that thing.
Hmm.
And yeah, Elias Johansson, he's been running associated, I think, at some point of his career, but then moved to HB. Now, obviously, due to Ronafog putting out with HB moving towards sort of an American bias in how the team is handled. I think it's a good move for Elias. Perhaps he could have went back to associated in 10 scale and then looked something else in 8 scale. But I think this could be something that if he does well, can
Right.
really grow him and Serpent both.
I
So
agree with you
yeah,
there.
good opportunity.
And I know quite a few people in Sweden that run Serpent, so it is a popular brand
Yeah,
there, like you said.
in Sweden they have good support, and I think like one of the distributors I at least know is very involved in it, and they have very fast drivers like can't remember Larson. I think it's Pontus Larson or something like this. He's a fast young driver as well. Been running Serpent for a while, and yeah, so there's a good presence. And I think the same distributor also sells AE, but I'm not
Hmm.
100% sure. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure, but not completely. But they have a very good team there, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, it's
And sort
good.
of,
It's like the UK,
I think he can
a
do
good
well.
Serpent team. Good
Yeah.
Serpent team. All right. Real quick. So that's about it for silly season news. DNC news. So I was listening to this, brought up the question. Even Joseph was like, "Well, what Europeans are coming there?" And I said, "Let me start asking." So I hold on. Okay, there we go. You found me. My camera was out of focus. I was listening to the Extra Lap guys. They had Boots on. Shout out to Aiden and the king of everything, Martin and Joey. And Boots is not going to DNC. And then I said, because he's preferring to go to Silver State, right? He's, they were talking about he's got Montpellier this weekend. And so I said, well, let me message Canas, see if he's going. So he's not going to DNC either. Berton's not going either. So I messaged him and he said no, which is a shame because there's the 3 guys I wanted to see at DNC. But it sounds like they want to go to Silver State instead. And I understand that. It's probably just a little. And maybe Canas and Boots might be coming, and Barton, all 3 of them guys might be coming to America for RCGP. So that's also a possibility.
Yeah.
And I talked to Barufalo. He's gonna be doing Montpellier this weekend, and then he's heading out to California. He's like the madman. He's not missing DNC. So I think it's gonna be
Yeah.
him, Zankatine, and Ongaro that come for Italy, and it's not looking positive that even Battier will be there at this moment. So
Yeah, Robert is a big big maybe, but most likely not. I think sort of Ronafog and Ongara would be the only sort of top EU guy, European guys.
Renault's
Perhaps
coming. Savoya's
Yeah,
coming.
so
Rial's coming.
Savoya and Joao, exactly. Those are the sort of next level
And then
out there.
and Barufalo. Well, then you have Zankatine
Yeah.
and Barufalo are coming.
For sure, there will be some European competition, but sort of Canas
Yeah.
and Robert would be very good additions because, like, Robert finished second in 2018. He's
And
been in the
Boots.
main every single time, and Robert is for sure a top contender at these events. Always.
Yeah. All right. So this is the last week of practice. So the dirt closes on the 9th, which is tomorrow. So today and tomorrow is the last day, I guess. Joseph has been out there with the Viking for 2 weeks now, I guess now, or not even 2 weeks. Yeah, maybe just over 2 weeks.
Yeah, a bit over.
Lots of wind. They had some days they couldn't practice because of wind. The track's really blowing out. Tebow, Tyler Jones, Papitas, well, he lives in the area. He lives nearby. And Ryan Lutz were there practicing Thursday, Friday. And then they had the Friday club race. And then Joseph did a race at nor did the Viking. They chose to race on Saturday. I think it was really windy on the Friday night too.
Yeah, the Friday race was just at the night, so it was just, I think, sort of a club race type. The Saturday race
both
was
are just club races.
Yeah, but I mean, the Saturday race was the whole day, whereas the Friday race was just the nighttime.
Yeah, so this was like probably one of the most watched club races of this weekend. And like, I know so many people were watching this, like so much eyes on Runner Falk. So I believe he came out on Saturday. And talking to Joseph, like they had just finished the Ebuggy.
Yeah, the last night. I think the first time he ran it was.
Yeah, like I think they just finished it like previously before and going out on the track. He broke it. They fixed it again. He came back in. His first qualifier wasn't good on Nitro. He came in, they changed in some stuff, and then he like blew everybody away on the second qualifier. Yeah. And I'm not trying to be biased. I don't want people to be like, oh, we're only talking about Mayako. But this is the only race that I had real inside scoop on. And while it's only a few guys, it's a big thing. Like people were watching this race.
I mean, like Tebow, Lutz, these guys have been fast all year.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to be Fend and Mayfield are the top contenders, but Ronnefort was 9/10 in best lap in front of Tebow. He lapped the whole field, flamed out or broke a clutch in the last lap, and then
the pin came out
back again.
He used the HB clutch, and the pin came out and was touching the flywheel.
It's funny because I remember in 2015 there was the Nordics in Sweden, and this was the one race where Joseph was actually fast. Like on qualifiers, he was challenging David. On semi, they battled for the first 10 minutes. In the main, Joseph was leading for a while. Then Ronnefort took off a bit, led for a while, and then exactly the same thing. The HB clutch and the pin pulls out. And then Joseph ended up winning that race, but this time the HB clutch almost took away from the
but I mean, so I'm gonna be honest. Like, let's just say, like the Viking just lapped the whole field, and then he kind of was like, I remember Joseph said, I told him to take it easy, and he said no, he just wants to get it out of his system. And I was like, you know, he's the Viking. He's coming out swinging, like, you know, true Viking style.
And the thing is, it's not like it was a half an hour or 45-minute main. It was 20 minutes, and he lapped the whole field.
Yeah. And then so
it's
Joseph
not
told
like
me
something small.
Joseph
that was pretty insane.
Joseph was so relieved. He called me after he was on his way to watch Supercross, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I'm so happy about that." You know, because he was, you know, I get it. And for people who may not understand how big of a thing that was, it was like a big thing. For him, and he was like, oh, I went up there with 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go to watch the car from the driver's stand, and then he flames out. I was like, what the fuck? I had to run down. I said, I would have paid money to watch you run across the track and get the car so you could finish. But he has a bad habit of doing that. He did that to me in Argentina. He goes, that's the last tank. You're in the lead. You'll be all right. And I ended up coming fourth. Because I didn't know. He just rattled me. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty dominating. People would say, well, he's been out there practicing all this time. I mean, they've been practicing, but not as much as they would like, rather, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, and it's not like this was the new track to Tebow nor Lutz, because they were there the last night. So it's not like Obviously,
Yeah,
he might have had a small advantage, but like nothing, nothing crazy. And yeah, and the end of the day, like the real thing is gonna be at DNC. This is just
yes.
something. It's nice to see that it's already sort of he's with the car, and yeah, it's now I'm like super excited because like that speed it's not like that's not
But we'll
nothing,
see what happens when he gets up against Ongaro and
Yeah,
Mayfield, Fend,
exactly.
Cavallari, Tessman, uh, and these guys. That speaking of Mayfield and those guys should have went there yesterday. They were there yesterday practicing. So that's good to see. This is the race for DNC has started. You know, it started last Thursday when Tebow and Lutz and those guys pulled up. Like this is all like people wouldn't have done. This is mind games, like to me. So you know, um, these guys don't want to show too much. They don't want to give too much away. They don't want to lose. But you know, this is all stuff that it's like now, like who? Okay, so does Tebow and these guys go home and be like, damn, that guy just put a lap on us, and we need to figure out, or do they go home and go, okay, we learned some stuff out there this weekend, we'll be ready for the next time. But I actually think these guys will be faster because they actually got to race her recently. But
Yeah.
also with Drake's knowledge of this track and all that stuff, I expect that Mayfield will be quickly up to speed, and I think that the hot race tires will be good here too as well. So Tessman and
Oh
Ogden will be
yeah,
good as well.
yeah. Ogden is something I'm very interested to see. To be honest, are we good? You cut off for
Yeah,
a
go
second.
ahead.
Yeah, like Ogden is something I'm very interested to see because like he should be very good here. Like this is one of the tracks he most often visits, and this is like if depending on the layout Joe is gonna do, um, uh, Cole should be pretty good here. So I would like to see how that goes down because obviously Hot Race seems to be pretty good because David ran it because he has
Hmm.
other options he could run and he ended up running a Hot Race. So yeah, I mean Ogden could actually be a contender here. Now what he has if he has the speed, he just has to keep it together here.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. He was down in Costa Rica this weekend too. By the
Yeah.
way, shout out to those guys. I think this is the first big pro they went down there. Bobby Moore built their track. It looks like he had a lot of fun. He won like 11 laps, but
Yeah, I
that's to
mean
be
the level of
expected.
competition is a bit different,
Yeah.
obviously, but I think this is something that people can see, like how cool RC can be. Obviously, the people who are already into RC know it, but I think this is something to add on to that. Like the track Bobby build looked really cool. I saw a video, and yeah, I think all like the areas where RC gets going, it's important to
Hmm.
like add more into it so people get into it. Same with the Philippines, like the locals are very into it, and uh like there's a lot of people who are very nice guys and very into RC just for just the fact that it's RC, and that's really good to see.
Yeah, it was. It's really growing there in Costa Rica. I remember when I first met guys there. I know we're kind of going off on a tangent, but we're supposed to talk about this anyway. I just wanted to finish up on DNC. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. Uh, I've watched the RC scene grow pretty good here in Costa Rica. It's like they like one of the only places in Central America that race besides Mexico, and they have a good scene. They have now 2 tracks, like a hobby shop. They have, I would say, 35 to 40, maybe between 35 and 50 drivers per race, which may not sound like a lot to a lot of people, but for like even when at our peak here, I would have loved to have had that, you know?
Yeah,
So they're doing
Costa
some good
Rica
things
isn't
there.
a yeah Costa Rica isn't a huge country, and especially sort of the way these countries are like motorsports or like sports apart from very easily accessible
Well, it's the
sports
middle
are
class.
quite rare.
It's the middle upper middle class and rich people that
Yeah,
race. It's like
yeah,
her,
that's
you
like
know what I mean? Not the
it's not like in America where if like with almost anyone actually can race.
right,
In these
right.
countries it's so much harder, and the fact that like even fuel, like it costs so much more because you have to ship it, you have to order in small quantities. Everything is more expensive at these countries oftentimes because like you have to order it and you can't order a bunch because there isn't much people to buy it.
Yeah,
So
I know all
yeah,
of this
that
stuff,
those
but
are the
it's
biggest
growing.
issues.
It's
And it
growing.
is, and it's great.
I've been talking to a lot of the guys in Latin America that have been racing. It's still going strong there. So I just wanted to say congratulations to those guys. I know Andres, my buddy Andres, he came third. So I was talking to him, and I just think it's good to see the love being spread out. So I know I want to go to
Yeah.
Costa Rica one time too. So
Oh, me
yeah.
too.
All right. So we're gonna do, no more talk about DNC because we really can't talk about that till it starts in a couple of weeks. We'll do a preview show of. We'll for sure know who everybody who's going. We'll probably do the preview show from there when I go. The other big race this weekend was the big onward race, which was the Snowbirds. I had Alexander Hagberg on. He was there. This was his race that he usually wins. Couple of things. My buddy Trent was here as well. So he was racing amateur, and this is the touring modified A main. I didn't realize they didn't have triple A mains at this race. So they only have one A
They
main.
didn't?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So this is Coelho and Hagberg out front, and then Sam Isaacs, who's this fast American young guy. I believe he drives Awesome-Matics. I could be wrong. So Coelho was the fastest in this class all week long. This is the top of the tier, the modified touring. Hagberg did TQ the first round, and then I think it was Coelho after that too. But he kind of ran away with it in this. It looks like Hagberg kind of didn't have the speed to keep up with Coelho, and he's like going defensive because, hey, this is X-Ray. X-Ray went out there in force. That's man, these guys he's defending, making his car really wide. But that's all part of racing. This guy, Sam Isaacs, was fast too. I watched
I was impressed.
Yes, but people have told me he's very good. Very good. I don't know much about this world, unfortunately. So
yeah, I know.
I thought this was a cool race.
I know about touring in Europe, but in America, it's sort of in a blind spot. If there's a guy who can actually battle with Alexander and Bruno, he should head over to Europe at least, for some races or worlds or something like that. This is very sort of cool to see. Maybe touring can pick up a bit more in America because for sure this would be a huge market in America, and touring cars are a very cool class. It's pretty easy compared to off-road classes because you just have to switch tires if you have to set up down, and it's fun. I'd like to see more of this, fast Americans in touring. So it's nice to see.
Oh man, the 12 scale was so epic. These guys were flying so fast. So I believe this is Herbert, Isaacs, and that's Hagberg. Dude, I would never be able to do this. Look how fast they're going.
Yeah, to me this seems insane. The speed, it's crazy. I have driven these cars a few times, tried my friends' cars, but it's insane how fast these things go. Not one of my favorite classes for sure, but it looks exciting.
Yeah, these guys end up having a very good battle. So you have Herbert, Isaacs, and then Hagberg right here. And Hagberg catches up to him. He's so now see, this guy goes into defensive mode. So he's trying to fight off Isaacs, and Isaacs is trying to. I guess it's pretty cool because we see this in off-road, but we don't see it too much this close. Because
that's the thing why I really like on-road. This touring cars I do prefer better, but the coolest thing about touring cars, especially outdoors, is the very, very good side-by-side racing they have. Whereas in off-road, it's often a bit harder to reproduce. In 8 scale on smoother, more open tracks, it can happen, and I think that's the way we should go a lot for races. You want that sort of to happen, the racing side of it. But this is definitely the really close racing that touring cars, and I mean even
did you see that pass just now?
I might have missed it, but
Hagberg just such quick reflexes. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be quick with these things. You
I
can't
mean,
be.
he's like in hunting mode.
Right.
He's faster than this guy, but this guy's also driving very defensive. Like, you know, in off road, you just have the jumps and the bumps that make it hard to do all this type of stuff. I mean, it can happen on those smooth tracks. But look how much people are watching this too, man. I think this is definitely a race I would like to go. It looks very comfortable. It's in a
Yes,
hotel.
Snowbirds. I can't remember how long this race has been going on, but like this is one of the first races I learned about when I was like young and looking at big American races. Like this is like the DNC of the touring world that I've sort of grew up to know.
Yeah, this is 1996,
So,
I think it was.
yeah, so come on, like over 20 years, like way over 20 years. So.
Look, these guys are having such a race. Look at them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
You're just enjoying the touring cars or prank cars.
Yeah, because I had never really, now that I kind of know Hagberg, I kind of have more of a vested interest in this now.
Yeah.
So I paid more attention to it. But wow, it's been some good race. Look how close they are. We would have hit each other. I would have hit that person like 10
By the
times
way,
by now.
if someone hasn't seen, like, go watch some old IFMAR Worlds finals from like 2006, 2010, of Panda cars, or up until like 2012. I think there were really good races. I don't know if 2014 had some good, but I remember watching those old ones as a kid, like touring cars, Panda cars. Those mains were insane. Like Naoto, then in touring cars, it was like Welker and Reinhardt and Gilles Grosskamp and all these guys. Like the battles in touring are great. So
I gotta go
definitely
look at some
something
of
you
that
guys should
stuff.
check out. Yeah, those are insane.
So didn't Finland have too fast? Like wasn't Timo Limo and that other dude really fast?
Yeah, Teemu Leino is European champion in touring cars, and Juho Levanen also touring cars as well as Pang cars. Then Simo Ahoniemi and his brother Sakka Ahoniemi, they have won in Pan cars, I believe, for European championships. And there has been a lot, but I mean, Teemu also was really good in off-road in like 10 scale. He finished second in like the end of 90s with Schumacher. Same with Teppo Kauppinen and these guys. They finished really high up back in the day in off-road. And then sort of in Finland, it was sort of when Jukka Sterner and these guys were
That's it. Was
running.
Jukka Stenari. How you say his name? Sterny?
Jukka Sterner.
Jukka Stenari.
That's pretty good, actually. So, like, at the end of the 90s, like, when Finland even held the worlds of 10 scale off road, that's when it was picking up a lot. Then, sort of, off road died down a bit at the beginning of 2000, and touring cars came up. So, then, like, all these guys, like Steneri and even Joseph and Teemu and Levanen and all these guys switched towards touring. And that's where sort of those European championships and high finishes at the worlds came. And like Teemu obviously has been since sort of the 2010, he's been sort of going towards just Nitro racing. In like he's been running Nitro on road mostly with Infinity now, and even before with HP he did that. And yeah, that's something sort of that sort of touring car movement has slowly died down. But I mean, there's still super fast guys in touring.
So where's Jukka Stenari? Stenari.
So he went to work with Losi. He designed, I believe, the 8 scale buggy, but I'm not 100% sure. He was a designer for Losi for a long time. I don't know if he got fired or if he chose to leave, but I think he just works as an engineer somewhere these days. But
like in the RC field or just?
No, not RC. He worked with Losi for a long time, but at some point he left or he got fired. I don't really know.
Right, well.
But yeah, he quit RC as racing pretty early on. Like, I mean, I think he just learned, like, enjoyed other things a bit more. But he's been very present in like he's. I mean, if you ask some of the Losi guys, probably like who work at Losi, they probably all know him pretty well.
Okay. Well, real quick. So just going over results real quick. Bruno Coelho, Alex Hagberg, Kevin Herbert, your top 3 in touring modified, and in the other top class, which was the 12 scale modified class, we had. I wonder why they only do one heat of. It's so weird. You're so used to 3 heats of racing.
I don't know. Did they have a lot of entries? This race usually has a load, So that could
Yeah,
be
I
one
mean,
thing.
they didn't have that much. They had 297 entries. I mean, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, maybe, but I mean, one thing they always do at this event. I don't know if they did it this year, but they usually do like at the end of the whole race, they do a circle 8. So they didn't do an oval; they do circle 8, and it's
Mhm.
basically like a crash demolition thing where
Yeah, I
people
know what that
just
is.
trash their cars. That's always like I remember watching those videos with my buddies, like way back. So that was always fun. I think, and like obviously people didn't use the like race cars, but they just used whatever they had like
Yeah,
for
because
that
there's an
race.
oval tracker as well. They race oval and on road. In 12 scale, we
Yeah,
had Sam Isaacs, Kevin Herbert, Ollie Payne. I want to say Ollie Payne sounds like an English guy. That's the only people
sounds
I know.
very Australian, but I have no clue if it is.
Yeah, Donnie Leah of Hagberg, because of that crash, he finished 8th. All right, so the other big race this weekend was the INS J Concepts INS race at San Diego RC Raceway in San Diego, California. Another clay track, probably one of the last type of clay tracks around like this in California. There's another, but you know,
Yeah,
in SoCal, definitely.
I think this
Uh,
was sort of like the other Southern Californian track next to OCRC because like when people went to Reader Race, everyone went to this track to practice
mhm,
before it.
mhm.
So yeah, this is definitely a well-known place, I
Now
believe.
let's put up.
At least in Finland, it is.
You know what? Before I just have to give some props because it looks like I like that. You know, I know J Concepts gets a lot of crap from people about a lot of things, but I like the fact that they have committed to having Mod at all these races, and he does pretty damn good coverage of it. So
These things were on par with anything they have had in the past with CRCRC race.
mhm.
So this is like one of the best 10 scale coverage we've had in a long time. Like the coverage from the Florida Indoor Carpet Championship, I can't remember the name of it, but that race last fall, I think was on par with this. The like, yeah, I mean, come on, like this is great coverage. Track looks amazing. The
Yes,
level of competition is one of the best in a long time in America. So I don't think
yes,
even the CRC race had this much top guys like Mayfield's there, Rivkin, Fend,
yeah,
Cavalieri, all of these guys like Tallard, Horn, and yeah, Champlin was there, I believe, but
yeah. Well,
not
let's
sure
go
if
over. Let's look at our top 10 out of in qualifying and open two-wheel drive. We got Cavallari, Fenn, Tallard, Horn, Spencer Rifkin, Austin Horn, so Aiden's brother, Mayfield in 7, Tom from R1, Tom Renner Connect in 8th, Dustin Evans in 9th, and WannaCry Matthew Gonzalez in 10th, and Aaron Kaufman is another name we're seeing pop up a lot, and Charlie Majorana in 12th. But they only had I believe they only had 10 car mains. And then an open four-wheel drive, it was Fenn, Mayfield, Tallard, Champlin, Cav, Renner Connect, Horn, Rivkin, Aaron Kaufman. And we might as well go stock because I believe that Renner Connect ran that. So we had Renner Connect,
yeah.
Brennan Schimmel hitting the stock class super hard last year, continuing on this year in second, and Tyler Patinod. I'm sorry, I probably butchered that. And Tyler Hooks was running this as well. He finished 10th. He was in 10th.
Yeah, Tyler Hooks, like he posted online that like he was running stock, and then Tony Newland just commented on his post like stock and a question mark. That was funny.
Prospect Mod.
I don't know why he's running stock, but I mean, whatever, you do you.
Yeah, it is what it is. We've already been over that. That's not a skill thing. It's a whole separate class, I think now.
Yeah.
And
Yo,
four-wheel
yeah.
drive, Brendan Schimmel, Mason Templin, Bryce Butterfield. So good racing. Cavallari looked fast. I think to
Yeah.
TQ two-wheel drive. Everybody counts the GOAT out, man. But the GOAT is, I'm telling you, man, the GOAT is putting it together for a very good 2022.
He's weird because I remember 2020 with S-Works, some good results, some not so good. 2021, really, 2019 he joined S-Works. So 2019 he didn't have that good results. Then 2020 really good. 2021 joined TLR. Sometimes he like had some pace, but like this year he's been starting off pretty well. Like even last fall at the J Concepts corporate race,
Mm-hmm.
I did pretty well. This race, TQ, I think finished third in two-wheel drive, And in four-wheel drive, he was up there as well. Let me see. So in four-wheel drive, he finished. Okay, so four-wheel drive, he had something happen to him, so he didn't do well. But anyway, like it's positive that he's doing all right. I'm not still putting him sort of one to fight with Mayfield or guys like that in 8 scale. But I think he's getting sort of comfortable with the cars. So maybe this year will be like with S-Works. So the second year he actually shows what he's capable of.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's gonna happen. He was
Yeah, but
leading
you're
this
a
race.
fanboy. I'm not biased in this.
Well, he's leading this race, but to tell everybody, I guess they must cry. I haven't seen this race, but Tallard actually wins this. Let's talk about Cole Tallard. A very good 2021 for him in 10 scale and 8 scale with the Nationals performance. Silent assassin, man. He's good. Look at he's hanging in this, and this is A1 of 2-wheel drive buggy. He wins this. So let's see where he wins this because he's right on these guys' asses throughout this race. I mean, look at him. He's all on Fenn's tail.
Yeah, I mean, Tallard is an interesting guy because he sort of, at least to me, it seems like he's in the shade of Rivkin and even sometimes Aiden Horn.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, like this guy is no joke. Like finished second in both classes here. One, you said this main, and like yeah, like he definitely has some speed. He's had that for a while, but I think maybe he needs to sort of have these top results to actually show it, and especially at 8 scale. I think maybe it's just my bias of following 8 scale more closely, but I think having a few good results in 8 scale would definitely boost his stocks up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think he's I don't think he's getting the recognition he should for some of the results he's had. So yeah, I'd really like to see him do well at some of these races.
Fenn fended himself, and that's how he's in second now. Oh,
yeah,
and
so
Cavallari fended.
wow.
Cavallari fended and gave it to Ev and gave
so
it to
that's
Tallard.
how Tallard won, but
Hey,
yeah, I
win's
mean,
a win.
the win is a win, and I think. Well, you said on the Discord like Fend. Oh, that was the last lap too.
Yeah.
So okay,
I
so
said
that was
no,
actual Fend.
Well, let's talk. Let's go look at let me put up open 4-wheel drive main one here. Pay your $5, everybody, to live RC, and you can watch all the stuff.
Yeah, so just to go over sort of the rest of the 2-wheel drive results before we move to 4-wheel drive, it's Fan, Tallard, Cavallari, and Horn in fourth. So 2 AE guys in the top 5, then Mayfield and Rivkin in sixth in 2-wheel drive, and in 4-wheel drive it's the same thing for him. So sixth in both classes for Rivkin, and in both classes Tallard and Aiden are in front of him. Mm-hmm. So yeah, to me, like that's not a good look for Spencer.
Not
like,
at all.
He should be the top guy at AE. Like he should be like no question. Spencer's always the first AE guy, but he ain't.
Yeah, he should be
right
battling
now.
Fend up here. He should be the guy behind. He should have been in Tallard's position.
Yeah,
and
yeah, definitely not a good look for Spencer. Maybe just an off weekend or something. But I mean, he's had these a few in the past year, I believe.
Yeah. I would agree with that. We always expect Rivkin to just like be so dominant in 10 scale. I think we're just expecting him to be like Fend in 10 scale and always battling with Fend. But I'm leaving that subject for a different for later on because I think Fend's just on a whole different level right now. And maybe
I think so too. But the fact that in 2-wheel drive you just saw him sort of crash out of the lead, like that's telling me that he's still sort of. Okay, well, anyway, but like still like he didn't like dominate in 2-wheel drive. In 4-wheel drive he did. He won everything, but in 2-wheel drive he didn't like dominate, which tells me he's still feeling some pressure. He still sort of has to race these guys. So I want to give him sort of that status because on a good day with Mayfield, on a good day with Ongaro, these guys don't even look back. Like they're in the lead. That's it. Like you don't even have to think. They just win. So Fenn still has that where he still has to be a bit sort of cautious if he's gonna win, even though he's leading and he's the fastest guy out on track. So that's something I still sort of I'm hesitant to call Fenn the dominating guy in America or fastest guy in America, even though, let's be honest, he has had some pretty damn good results. Like
The
EMS last
guy,
year, he's
okay,
been like 10
Mayfield's
scale,
got
he's
more.
clearly the fastest guy.
Mayfield's got one more 8-scale win than him last year. Because Fenn has
Yeah.
2, Mayfield had 3. Fenn had way more TQs, and Fenn has way more 10-scale wins or podiums than Mayfield last year. Don't get me wrong, like Mayfield's still the dominant guy in 8-scale.
Yes, yeah.
But
So
this
that's
is
why
the guy that could beat him like anytime, anywhere, in my opinion.
But yeah, exactly. But that's sort of what I'm after here. That even though Fenn looks like he's just so fast, like no one has anything on him, he's still sort of an underdog against Mayfield a lot of these times. Like he shouldn't be, because his speed is really damn good.
Only you guys consider him an underdog. I have pure
But
unadulterated
again,
faith in Fenn.
I'm unbiased, and you are like a huge Fenn fan. Like if it, like, yeah. So I think DNC is a good sort of tell, because I don't think Fenn even has to win DNC. Like this time he has to just finish on the podium because last year didn't go that well for him. So if he finishes second and close to Mayfield or whoever wins, I think that's a win in Fenn's book. But yeah, I wouldn't call him the dominant thing that he might sort of appear to be.
Okay.
But yeah, he's down fast. There's no like taking away from that.
All right, so I'm gonna do my big winners and losers of this race. Big winner, obviously, for me, Dakotah Phed, Cole Tallard, Aiden Horn. And I'm putting Ryan Cavallari there because of his second place finish in
Two-wheel drive.
Two-wheel drive.
Third, but anyway,
sorry.
Made the podium.
And then my biggest losers, I was gonna have Mayfield as a big loser, but Mayfield was actually he was fast, he just made mistakes. You know,
like compared to last year where he made B mains most of the time, like this is a win right now in Densko.
I'm gonna say another big loser is Brock Champlin. He, finishing 9th in two-wheel drive. And where did he make? Did he make the main?
Let me check the full drive. Full drive finished.
Yeah, and 4th. He needs to be another person up there battling for wins.
But here's the thing, with the cars he has now, finishing 4th in full drive is like good. Like the full drive is really good on dirt, so 4th is good. It's okay. It's not great. But two-wheel drive 9th, like let's just be honest. Like Schumacher isn't a car designed for dirt. They have barely tested it at dirt most of the times. So like, yeah, it's to be expected. This, especially this track, which is super low grip compared to other tracks in America, like the CRC track. All these tracks are covered with sugar or whatever, and it's very high grip. These guys run slicks. I don't know if they've run slicks here, but like it's not that grippy here. So I wouldn't put Champlin as a loser. I'd put this as a well, that's kind of what you called for when you went to Schumacher with the two-wheel drive. In four-wheel drive, 4th is, in my opinion, okay.
If he's got to be fighting for these results. I get what you're saying.
He should be, yeah. But I mean,
I get it. But if this was carpet, he'd be there. So
yeah. But the thing is, I don't think he's the type of guy who sort of builds his own thing. Like he needs to sort of slow by slow, sort of get used to the car, then build his setup. Whereas some guys like, well, I really seem to know, like Ronifog, he knows what he needs, he gets it done, and then he goes out on track. I don't think Brock is the type of guy. I think he's the type of guy just drives, tests different stuff. If something works, that's great. So I think it will take time before he can actually sort of be his own speed on dirt. And let's be honest, like even with AE, he was much faster in carpet.
He's mostly doing carpet racing anyway.
So. Yeah, so it's not like he has ever been that good on dirt. He's been good, but not like that good. So I wouldn't put him as a loser at this race. That's just my take.
Dustin Evans, I mean, he's just like the same. Or every race
I didn't even notice him.
He made both mains. I'm sorry. Don't be rude. He made both mains. He got an 8th in 2-wheel drive. And
I was sorry. I didn't mean to be rude, but I was just surprised because I didn't.
he got a
see
9th.
Yeah.
I think, Tom Rennekernick, he ran stock as well. I think he'll win a better after such a good run at the CRCR race. He finished what? He finished 7th. Mind you, all these guys ran at CRCRC. There was no like Cavaliers and Mayfields and all those guys there. They weren't there. So yeah, I think that's good.
Fend was there though. Still.
Yeah, I think Matthew Gonzalez. I'm gonna give this is his home track. I watched him almost kill a British bulldog. He fell on top of him. I know how a dog tripped him up. I ran around the track. But Born to Crime making he in 4-wheel drive he didn't make the main in 4-wheel drive, and in 2-wheel drive he finished 10th and was just never in it at his own track. Yeah. I think he's just going through freshman mod blues. I moved up to mod.
I think, has he
it's a big adjustment.
Really raced against this type of competition? Because in stock he was just running by himself in the front.
This is the issue. You know what I mean? The competition level is completely different at mod. So
yeah, and if he transitioned like a year or two before, maybe he could have sort of seen what he needs, seeing the speed he's at, sort of had some bigger targets as well. So yeah, I don't know if he thinks it's a good result, bad result, because he's still new to mod, but I mean the guy, I see him being much better than this, but I don't know if he actually is.
Right. It's like 250s to 450s.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's pretty good because generally there's a lot of guys who are very good at 250s and then switch to 450s and suddenly they aren't that good anymore, even compared to the guys who they beat in 250s.
Yeah,
so it could be that too. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, to me, the only sort of guys who should be going home pissed are Rivkin and to be honest, I think Rivkin, just them.
Yeah, I think Mayfield would be a little bit pissed too because he didn't win. But that's
but I mean, come on,
results.
Finishing 5th in both classes versus finishing in the B main, that's a pretty big step up from last year. I don't know if he's been practicing more 10 scale now because last
maybe
year
this track just suits him better.
Could be that too. I mean, Mayfield is a guy who I'm pretty sure doesn't like the very high grip track, so this track being a bit more low grip, maybe that helps him a bit. But yeah, I think sort of everyone's sort of where they should be. But Dustin Evans is I'm pretty sure he's getting paid by AE. He's only driving 10 scale. Mm-hmm. So I'm a bit sort of I gotta be honest.
I think he's just to his point now. He's just older now, and it doesn't really matter.
And it's no offense. Maybe, but I don't know. If I was AE, I'd be wishing him some better results. But I'm pretty sure, because he puts out very good content, on videos and on live streams and stuff, and he interacts with people and really big. I've seen him do a lot in the community where he's in America. Mm-hmm. So perhaps that's why that's his value to AE, which I totally see and I appreciate that. I don't in a while I haven't seen him as a racer to be at that level anymore where he can because before he was great, won really race, won a lot of races in America, generally a very good 10 scale driver. So yeah, mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't think he's a loser at this race because I just believe this is sort of what's his thing nowadays, sort of being more towards the hobby side of the sport rather than being a professional racer.
I see that. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's about it. I don't have, let me just check my notes, any more races. Real quick, Drake, because I just wanted to touch on this. Drake went up to Winter Rage up in Pacific Northwest, another big, they have their big races in horse arenas up there because it's too cold. Big races up there. They do good things. He goes up there regularly. He dominates. I just want to shout out to all the RC people up there in the Pacific Northwest. Good group of people. And once again, shout out to the guys in Costa Rica. It's good to see them getting some attention. And yeah, a real quick RCGP, OSPI team in Italy. What's that? I don't understand that. So OSPI is a track, right?
Yeah, so this will be the second event of RCGP. I believe
Okay.
it's in May or June. I can't
June, I
remember the
believe.
date, but this is a track that hosted the can't remember the name, but Jose was at this race last fall, straight after
The Reds
Buggyland.
GP.
Yeah, Reds GP. This has hosted Reds GP for plenty of years. It has hosted the Italian, not Italian job, the other one, Vitti contest as
Okay.
well. I think once. So this is a pretty. This has hosted a bunch of like sort of medium-sized races in Europe, where still a lot of fast guys shows up, and a great venue, pretty close to Reds facility. I believe Reds is still somewhat sponsoring the series, so that's obviously a very good thing for them, if that is the case. Um, and yeah, I mean, all around great news. It's great track, great facility. The people who work there, the ones I've met at least, have been very nice, and yeah, all around a good thing in my opinion.
Yeah, I saw some of the UK people like, oh, it's the same week as our national. I'm like, I mean, it's always gonna be. It's so hard to plan a race that doesn't conflict with another
Yeah,
race. It's
yeah,
unfortunate that it happens to be on the same day as a UK national, but I mean,
yeah.
I don't think many
I
UK
find
people are
it
gonna go anyway.
I find it a bit silly sometimes from the UK guys where they think sort of the UK nationals are the number one thing and then everything else is sort of below it.
For
Sort of like
them, it
UK
should be,
nationals.
which is understandable. For them, it
It's
should be.
understandable, but like like come on,
You
if you
can't you
followed
can't stop a
Spanish
whole
Nats,
yeah, you can't stop
yeah,
a whole
Spanish
international
Nats,
race.
Italian
Spanish
Nats,
Nats,
like
yeah,
there are so many
Dominican,
nationals in Europe. Like how
yeah.
do you like okay, it's not optimal for you guys, obviously, and I get your frustration, but I think like I've had times where Euros overlap with my Finnish nationals. Like,
It's
come
hard
on,
to
like,
plan.
and if I cried about every single time that happened, like, yeah, it wouldn't end. Uh, so yeah, it is what it is, but I think sort of people should sort of like there are
Get
races
over it.
who's gonna yeah like it's
It's like it
not
can't be
that big of a
changed.
deal.
Like I'm sorry. Like I saw it. I was like, all right,
Yeah,
guys, I get it, but it can't be changed.
yeah.
It's
There are
like it's
6 rounds of UK nationals. Most of these are just clubs, all of them, versus an RCGP, a worldwide racing series, which is like a lot of effort and money goes into it. So
not
it's not
saying that it
like
doesn't go into the. I know that like the UK guys get upset. Get upset at
yeah,
Max.
okay.
Get upset at Max.
Yeah, but I mean
I know
it's
what you mean. It's
unfortunate
like
for the hobbyist, but it's
yes.
like that's like saying like
No,
well
if this
okay
was in the
this is a
UK, if this
yeah
was in the UK on the day of a UK
oh
national,
yeah
then it'd be
100%
different.
yeah 100% I get it if this was in the UK, but it isn't. It's
Right.
somewhere else. I think it's it's inconvenient, but yeah, if any other big race was at the same time as UK nationals, people would be that upset about it. That's my sort of take on this. Just because it's RCGP, people are upset.
I don't know, man. So hard to figure out these dates. Anyway, we do have a big race coming up this week.
Let's talk about the Euro Touring Series as well. We kind of
Oh
missed that.
right. So ETS was at
Yeah, same
Dawn.
place as the EOS race a
Yes.
couple weeks ago, a week ago. So, and that is actually interesting because Völker won with Mugen.
That's
So I
I'm
think this
gonna
is one
bring
of
up.
the biggest wins for Mugen in on road.
Really?
Obviously, Bruno wasn't here. I mean, Velker has beaten Reinhardt before with the Mugen. He might have won even an ETS round before, but like Reinhardt was here, Krap was here, all the fast European guys were here, apart from Bruno, I believe. Perhaps some other might have missed it, but pretty much all the same guys who were at the previous time. So yeah, Velker won by pretty comfortably over Reinhardt. Christopher Krupp with Yokomo, by the way. I remember we talked about this, I believe, with Tony a few weeks ago, or last week, was it?
Mm-hmm.
That Yokomo sort of has he faded out of it? Are they back? But like Krap in third, Yannick Prumper in fifth with a Yokomo in on-road. And they don't even have those sort of modern on-road cars with carbon fiber arms and stuff like that. They have the old school car. Like,
Really?
yeah, so I don't know if this is sort of these guys iron out the car, trying to get the last bit out of it, or if they are preparing for something new. trying to sort of get everything now and then invent a bit more. And I don't know, hard to tell, but definitely good news to see Yokomo doing this well. Schumacher also, they released a new car last week, the MI8. No clue at this point. New Schumacher on-road car. It didn't look that
MI8.
much different. Yeah, it didn't look that much different to the previous one. They had a few updates on it. Yeah, you have to live as well. So this track looked pretty regular European on-road track. A bit smaller than I think regularly used to, but I mean still all right. But yeah, so Automatics obviously still very very high up there. I think they had one, two, three, at least three cars in the main.
Pecco
Perhaps
was in the
four.
main. That's why you wanted to talk about it.
That too, like Pecco made his first main in touring. He has been driving touring for a long time, but never really had that much. Sort of a focus on it. Same with Karri again in the final. Like these guys have been practicing touring for the past 2 years a lot back at home, and now it's showing. Like two Finnish guys again in the main. That's pretty good. Like I'm impressed by these guys.
So I have a question. Is Pecco like living the RC life right now? Is this what he's doing full time?
He's going to school. I mean, he's going to upper secondary school. It's
Okay,
his
so it's still
last
like
year.
high school.
Yeah, yeah. So, and yeah,
Interesting.
he's kind of living the RC life, yes, but yeah, going to school, trying to get all that sorted, and
This definitely looks better as an on-road track than an off-road track.
oh, 100%. I think, I mean, kind of harsh to shade like this, but they seem to always put a bit more effort into on-road than they do to off-road, which is a bit sad because I think off-road is still quite big in Europe, and definitely it has suffered a bit like in the
Right.
past 2 years. So trying to
Yeah.
revive it would be nice. But like this race again, I can't remember how many entries, but a crazy amount. I'd say over 200 entries, but not exactly sure.
Yeah, I like that they
Not entries,
utilize this part of the track,
participants.
the I part of the track a lot better than they did in the off-road side. All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
for sure.
Cool. Okay. So we have a big race this weekend, Max. We had a whole weekend planned out for this race, but when we found out there would be no live coverage, we're gonna do this preview and then we'll do a recap. But we have one we talk about this race quite a lot because I think it produces some of the best racing that I've seen in a long time. Every year the racing is great. It's fast. I watched a track crew like clean up a track that was flooded in water, and then like they got it ready in like an hour to be racing. And this track actually has a rich history of it's not as old as I thought. The track is probably old, but the race isn't as old as I thought it was. And we're talking about the Montpellier GP held in Montpellier, France. So I've written a blog about this. It hasn't come out yet by the time I wrote this, but I did a little research. Montpellier is a very old town. First was mentioned back in like 985. That's how old it is. It comes up throughout history in that region. It's like the seventh biggest city in France. You know, I kind of geeked out on all this stuff. So the reason this race is so important for me, for the Europeans, this is like their DNC. This is like a Euros, to be fair. It is a Euros.
Yeah,
I mean, it pretty much has all the fast European guys there.
Yeah, it has been like, it has sort of, in previous years, it has attracted like less of the northern side of Europe because it is very cold there. And in sort of like Sweden and Finland and even northern Germany, it's impossible to drive or sort of practice at this time. So because in the past, they used to be like Ronnefolk, all the sort of top guys from Europe came to this race. This was like the Neo, the like it was this race and the Neo race. These two were like the super big races Europe had. The Neo sort of died down, and this race has sort of shrinked a bit. But then sort of it has been even more, given even more focus from like UK guys and Southern European guys. So it's still definitely, I'd say, biggest race at this point in Europe, apart from the Euros, obviously.
Yeah, it's going to be the biggest race that we've seen. I mean, IBC was big, but I think this is just a bit big. I mean, the only people probably not going to this race are Joseph. I don't think he goes anyway. Well, he never goes to this race. Is Rana Falk.
So it's like this race usually really freaking cold, so that's why people don't often.
And he's usually in America this time of year.
Yeah, anyway. That too.
So, but this is a very popular race. And it's held in the south of France, not far from the Mediterranean, but it's always cold there. And that's the only thing that I always keep hearing people saying, oh, it's cold. It's such a cold race. But I think I got hip to this race maybe about 4, 5, 6 years ago. And I started watching it on RC Racing TV. No, not sorry. It wasn't RC Racing TV. I think they might have covered it. Believe. Yeah, but maybe
RC Mag has always covered it. Like the French media is actually pretty good in RC.
Okay.
RC Mag has always had very good coverage of this race specifically. This year, obviously, no live, but they will still be filming everything and making sure.
I forget how this race came on my radar then. I just knew it was like the first race where the European guys raced before DNC. So I just started watching it. And ever since then, it's just been exciting racing. Like it's always come down to near the end. Like even last year, 2 years ago in 2020, Ongaro was leading and winning like the entire race. And then like I can't remember how much time left to go, his battery dumped and Canas took over. And I think I saw Battier come from behind to win at this track one time too, which I thought was, by the way, he's won this 4 times. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, there's been quite a few winners actually. I looked at the list just today, and there's quite a few different winners.
So let's just go over that. So the first race at this race was in 2006, and it was won by Italian legend Davide Tortorici. Tortorici. See, I butchered that. I know nothing about this guy, so Max probably knows everything about him.
So this was the guy who worked at Very before Ongaro. So, so this was sort of he ran a chrono. He was like Ongaro of the mid 2000s. Like he was like some race he went to, he just absolutely dominated. It was like crazy fast. I don't think he won. I believe at least 1 Euros, maybe a few more, but he sort of never had that long lasting sort of success, sort of that Iguan, for example, had. And because Iguan had this sort of a lot of years actually fighting for worlds, whereas Tortorici he had very good results somewhere there, but then like I never sort of saw him, at least the way people talked about him, as a sort of a world's contender.
Yeah, where is he now? Out of RC?
Yeah, he raced for a while. I think he raced up until like 2015, 2016, but he slowly faded off. He wasn't as fast at that moment anymore, whereas Iguan is still quite fast at times. And so I don't know if it's just, was he never that great of a driver as someone like Iguan?
Or just burnt out, maybe too much pressure?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe.
The next Italian hope.
But he was definitely a super fast guy, and Joseph always said this, like he was running chrono, that's the time when chrono was super good. And I think I don't know what really happened, but he was fast at the time. Definitely a very big guy in Italy at the time.
Right. Renaud Savoya, Yannick Iguan, Jerome Iguan, and Jerome Sartel are the 4 French guys that have won this.
And Savoya, obviously.
Yeah, I said Savoya.
Okay, I missed it.
Boots has won it 3 times. I didn't realize he had won it 3 times.
Yeah, I remember the one he won way back. That was the one where a lot of people retired. Like I think Ronefog had issues, Canas had issues, Ongaro had issues, and then Boots ended up winning. Mm-hmm. Maybe Canas didn't have, but Berton or someone who was up there had issues, and Boots ended up winning. I mean, but yeah, you have to finish first, obviously, but that was a weird race. That was the sort of last race Boots won with the Kyosho. I think that year he switched or the next year he switched to S-Works then.
Yeah, Ricky Berton has won this race, and Riccardo Rabiti. That's another fast Italian that we haven't heard.
Yeah, he
won it in 2009.
I don't know where he's gone now, but he used to be very fast Italian as well.
Right. So this race has like some prestige attached to it. Like the guys that have won this race are all I would say at one point in their lives probably world's contenders at some point. Looking back on
if
this.
not worlds, at least European champs. Most
Yes,
of them.
yes. This is one of the last, like, you don't see these type of tracks anymore, permanent Euro style. You know, when I think of Montpellier, I think of the tree, and I think of that polished blue, smooth concrete corner I know is so slippery. It's so deceiving. It's like wet tile with that fine little bit of dust in there. And, you know, you got that little simple double that looks so simple. Well, I think remember when one year they had a double and you had to jump it. I think of that. And then I think of just the hardcore, like racing. Like it's so fast and intense. It's no relaxing on this track. It's short. It's not a big track. It looks big, but it's not. And it's super fast, a lot corner speed, and just, you know, no big stupid jumps. Just, it's nothing. It's just like you go, that one section that you go slow in is that concrete section, because you can't really go fast. I just love this track, and it's just proved to provide some great racing. You know what I mean? For me, unfortunately, let's go to 2020 because we got a lot to talk about going into this race. Canas won it. I think the Seismic Magma tires are the tires to be on as well. Is Canas still on Seismic?
No, he has switched to T-Pro, but looking at the warm-up, both him and Boots were running Seismic. And it's funny because T-Pro posted a picture of, hey, T-Pro guys finished 1 and 2. And both had Seismic tires on, or at least one of them had Seismic tires on the car. So that was a bit funny on the Facebook. But he'll be able to run whatever he wants.
Yeah, but this is a serious race. I mean, even when I was talking to the Killex, they're like, you know, they're excited, but they're not excited because they didn't get to go to the warm-up. You know, they know like how important that warm-up race was. Tires is such a big deal here. I mean, if we go back to 2020, this started the breakup between Nemo and the Skidmores, if I remember correctly.
I believe so, but this is where sort of this. I think this was last race with Agama that Skidmore had.
And they did really well. They were leading this race, I believe, at one point, or really in the top 3. Johnny was.
I don't know if he was in the top 3, but he definitely made the main. I believe he was faster than he regularly is.
Okay, sorry, I probably gave him more. I should have went back and looked at it.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I remember in 2020 actually Ongaro struggled a bit when he was leading on a battery fail. That was 2019. I think that's when exactly
2020.
No, that's 2019 because 2021 they didn't have this race. So when Associated
2020 they had it.
Yeah, but that 2020 Ongaro was struggling quite a bit because that was when Associated was coming out with a new car.
Who won it? Okay, but who won it in 2019?
2019, I believe Boots won, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, let me bring up that.
Because I'm pretty sure Ongaro hasn't won this race.
No, he hasn't. He has not won this race. He hasn't.
Yeah, so yeah.
I thought it was 2020 he had the issue with his battery, man.
So 2019, I think he had the issue. That was when he was super dominant, leading by almost a lap. And 2020 was when Berton broke. Ongaro was kind of struggling, and then Canas ended up winning. Canas has always been good at this race. Like even before he was at this level, he's always been a guy who's like really fast at this race. Like, and I think I'm pretty sure Ongaro is going to be showing up at this race, so he will be definitely posing a battle. He seems to have a very good platform. He's been very dominant in Italy, at least in terms of speed. He has had a lot of technical issues for some reason, but in terms of just pure speed, he's been really good in Italy. So I think it's going to be a battle between those two. But I got to be honest, like I'd be favoring Canas at this race.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards Canas as well. And I don't know, maybe Boots. I was listening to him on Extra Lap. He sounds pretty confident. I think he knows he can use the tire to beat, because obviously I believe he's used the tire in the UK Nationals, which is fine. He's allowed to use it, so they allow him to use it, so that's fine. Yeah, it's just gonna be difficult. But then I heard that some of these companies are kind of getting their I believe it's the compound that makes the big difference, and a lot of these companies are getting their compounds ready for this race. But it's kind of hard to do it when I believe like Seismic is not far from this. I believe their factory. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they're not too far away from this actual track. They
I
use
have
this
no
track a
clue where
lot.
they're based, but
Okay,
they are. A
someone
lot
told
of
me
them
that.
are in the south, for
Right.
sure. And I think like, you know that Majubi, Zachary Majubi, I think works for Sismic, and they have been going to this track for I don't know how long. But like, I mean, they don't live close, but they have gone here quite a bit in the past. And I talked with them, so they for sure know it, and Zachary works for them. So like this is the track where Sismic sort of first had their great results, like Thomas Musso and finishing high up. So this is sort of where Sismic built its sort of coming
Reputation.
back of again, because it used to be a pretty big round in Europe, I think in the past, but like these days it's back
It's
again.
coming
It's
back
like,
though. It's coming back.
yeah,
It seems to be, especially when it's working on all these oil tracks, and a lot of these off-road
Yeah.
tracks are going to the oil treatment. For
but it's
those
not only
purposes.
that though, because I believe Berton is running now as a Sismic driver. Oh, actually no.
And Barufalo.
Well,
Barufalo is.
Barufalo
No,
is
Berton's hot
maybe
race.
Berton's hot race. That's correct, because he was running Sismic last year almost everywhere, but now he's with hot race. So actually, that might be something that's interesting, because Canas and Boost will obviously be running Sismic, most likely, and Ongaro. We were sort of predicting Ongaro to move to hot race, but he hasn't.
Yeah, but
So
nothing.
I'm
You
guessing.
haven't heard
I'm
anything.
guessing. Yeah, so I'm guessing he's just sticking it with AKA. So, yeah, AKA. Hard to say, man. Like it could be good, it could be bad, but it's like, because this track is like very tire specific a lot of times. So if you don't tires just don't work, they just don't work. And AK hasn't been notoriously very good for on tracks like this. They are much better on sort of a bit more abrasive tracks, sort of the medium bike tracks, I believe. So
Also,
yeah, hard to say.
Pro Circuit, because the Killex run on Pro Circuit, they'll be there. So they're hoping to have an answer for these Seismic tires. That's another thing about this race too, is you will see names that you don't regularly see in A-mains, like a Tom Robbins, Mussos, even though these guys are fast. These guys are fast in France. Yeah, I'm sure we'll see a Majube in there as well. The HB will be good there. He'll be on Seismic. X-Ray sending a squad over. Dude, Coelho is super busy. He did snowbirds, traveling back to Portugal, then he's going to France for Montpellier, then he's going, I guess, over to California for
Now that
DNC.
you brought that up, Coelho, like, dude, like if he has practiced 8 scale, if he has the sort of flow in 8 scale after all this touring car racing, like Coelho could like
do well at this race.
He could be challenging for the win. Like,
yeah,
hard to say, but like he won in Portugal. He obviously practiced there a lot, but this track isn't like that different from the style they had there. Really tight, really technical, medium to high grip. Yeah, I mean Coelho could be one for the win. One thing actually we haven't talked about yet, but this one kid who runs a Gamma finished in the warm up like 6th, 7th. Like there's a lot of like young French drivers who can be really fast here, especially now that Agama is partnered up with Sismic, and most guys in France seem to be running Sismic these days. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see some French kids up here, and more to Agama is it's gonna be interesting to see if they will run their prototype.
Right, I forgot about that. I forgot all about that. I forgot Lee Martin would be there.
Yeah, because Lee posted pictures, I think, a few weeks ago, showing that he has his own car now. So it's not only just one concept car. So Lee has his own, and there's a few guys who have cars, I believe. So that's going to be interesting. Are they going to actually run it now?
I forgot all about that. This is the type of track that we'll be good at.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, is this where they're going to sort of show what it's got? I don't know. I mean, I'd hope to see it. Maybe
I hope they do,
because like they've been testing it for a while now. I believe they've been testing it since like a year almost. Like I would be surprised if they released it right after they got it finished. So yeah, and it looks like they're going into production too, because like they're constantly updating. Like, hey, we're testing this, and like doing development. So
I forgot all about that. What other UK is Clancy going?
Haven't talked with him.
I wonder what other UK guys are going.
I believe because his Skidmore's dad at least posted online that their flights were cancelled. Clancy also same thing. His flights were cancelled. So it could be sort of COVID bullshit screwing it up, and also because they aren't inside the EU, it's much harder to travel as well. So all of that shit is screwing them up a lot from the UK. So I hope actually that Lee will show up. But yeah,
couldn't they just go across on the channel and drive across?
It's like this is like the south of France, so you would have to go across the tunnel, then drive more than a full day. So it'd probably be the same price to just fly, and it'd be a lot easier to just fly.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll find out sooner or later here when things start. I mean, they're committed to go. They were in there. Oh, man. I keep coming back to X-Ray. X-Ray are not playing around. They are hitting 8-scale and touring car hard.
Yeah.
Like, big squads. Like, Tasman's over there prepping Coelho's Truggy. Like, you know what I mean? I'm so impressed with what X-Ray is doing. I wish other teams, like these American teams, would think about sending some of these Americans over to some of these. I wish X-Ray would have joined RCGP. It would have been so great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
That would be interesting.
But all right. So I guess we should make some predictions about this race while we're talking about it, while we're wrapping up here. I honestly, my top 3, dude. I honestly have Canas as. I think the S-Works won great. I think he'll be on Seismic tires. I think I have Canas, Boots, and Ongaro. I don't have Ongaro winning this.
Yeah, I don't have Ongaro winning either, but I'd go with Canas, Berton, and Ongaro. I don't think Boots is good, but against Berton, against Ongaro, I don't think he's like that level at the moment. But Canas definitely loves this track. Very dominant at the warm-up. So yeah, but Berton is fast. His car has a lot of steering. Looking at all the videos, he's very good at technical tracks generally. So
now,
yeah.
What do you know about the Infinity car? Are they still using? Is it still a lot of 3D printed parts, or are they?
I saw pictures from last fall of the car. Still a bit of HP parts on there. Still 3D printed parts. It seems like I don't.
Gotta change by now, though.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps they are sort of now finalizing the thing and releasing it at the Worlds. That's my best guess, because it seems like for the past, like since 2019, they had the same thing. Like I've seen the thing, it looked exactly the same for like 2 years. Obviously, they tried a lot of stuff. They like tried to optimize it a lot. That's 100% like the deal, but like the general design is like they still are using a lot of HP parts on the car. At least they were at last fall. So perhaps like this is a race with a show, like to a big audience, their official car, then the release will happen at the Worlds, or I don't know. It's hard to say. They could just be still running the 3D printed stuff, and
we'll see. They have plenty of time. I think they'll have a full molded car by the Worlds. I think they'll probably have a close to a full molded. It'd be interesting to see. I know the good thing is that Chris will be there from Circus RC, so we'll get plenty of pictures. He did say he's going to try and go live, but that's not his thing. So I'm not expecting too much from that. RC Mag will be covering it. They'll have videos after the fact, which kind of sucks, but we'll post them up. We'll try and post results too, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, you know what? We also forgot to mention that this is our first race in our NNRC Euro Cup. Let's talk about that real quick.
So
how could we forget that?
Yeah, so last year we had the American Cup. This year we have European and American. Sort of the fact that this hasn't got any live footage and stuff sort of ruined the start, because it would have been a great to sort of launch it off with a bang and full coverage. But then we'll do that at DNC properly for the American one. But there'll be 4 races in European Series. It'll be this one, then it'll be European warm-up, it'll be Worlds warm-up, and then the Euros. Whereas in America, it's going to be DNC, the Nats, PNB, and Silver State for the series. And again, most likely all of these guys will attend all of these events. It's going to be interesting to see how it turns out. I'm pretty sure it's going to be much more tight than last year, where Mayfield just dominated, because it's like Fend is closer. A lot of these other guys have a challenge.
I think
Mayfield's been seeming a bit iffy at times. So
I
yeah,
think we're going to see Fenn put the pressure on Mayfield this year, and
yeah,
I think Cav's going to be there, man. I'm telling you. How about Europe?
Maybe.
I mean, Ronald misses the first race. You know, he's going to be.
That's a bummer for David. I think that's sort of it for the series, because we're not going to have any dropouts, and he's not like. Although I believe like he's going to do good with Mayako, I don't see him winning Euros warm up, Worlds warm up, and the Euros, and then like Ongara not having good results, because that's what it takes to sort of make it first if you miss one race. They are hard to say. I think like Ongaro definitely is the favorite in my eyes for the Euro Cup. If David didn't miss the first one, then we'd a lot more balanced, I believe. Yeah, hard to call. Canas is obviously going to be there too, so it's going to be Ongaro.
So how do we do this? Do we give Ronafog? Does he get points for? Because actually, we have a conundrum. Might have a conundrum here. Ronafog might actually do 2 races in the American Cup and then 2 races in the European Cup.
Yeah, so that's a bit of a bummer. I wish sort of we could do so that, for example, the World Swarm up at DNC somehow were shared results, but it's just much easier to separate the two. I think that's the best way to do it for now. I think when people sort of get the idea of it, or try to start actually going to these events more, this can actually happen more. In Europe, this was like they actually had a thing before COVID
Masters of
came,
Europe.
Masters of Europe thing, yeah.
This is a race. This race is a part of it. It says so on the flyer, anyway.
Okay, but I don't know if that's still a thing. At least I haven't heard any of it.
Right.
So yeah, I think last year was just like, I think for us, that's sort of trying out if there's any interest in like doing this, or like does it add anything? And I think it really does. Like I think having even just the point system thing, I think that adds a lot. It adds like some excitement at least. And yeah, I'm very excited about it.
Maybe we should have a competition with our patrons this weekend and see who picks their winners. So
yeah,
from the Montpellier,
like
I don't know. We have to figure it out. If you're a patron and you have an idea about how to figure this out, let us know before Friday. Real quick, I know we also all things for NNRC Cup will be posted on the House of RC page. Get used to it, because that's where all our DNC stuff is gonna go as well. I have a blog coming out this week about Montpellier. I need to adjust it. I have some misinformation in there apparently. I thought Boots and Canas. I thought the battery thing was in 2020. Dark horses. Who do you think is going to be a dark horse coming into this race?
Montpellier. That's a tough goal. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like looking at the warm up, like Robert finishing up high could be a dark horse in that sense.
I would love to see Robert win this. I would love it. He needs it.
Yeah, Robert would definitely win right now. I think maybe him. Like I'd like to see him do well. I don't really have anyone. There isn't one sort of like looming in the background, like the guy who can actually be really fast. I
wouldn't be upset if any of these guys won, to be honest.
No, not really. Yeah,
I can't see anybody that would be like, I don't really want that guy to win. Like if Canas wins it, I think he deserves it. Breton, Barufalo. I would like to see Barufalo win it, even though I just know it's just not that. He's just gonna go wild.
I doubt like this is not his style of track. So
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But we'll be following it. We're gonna share as much videos and results as possible. So follow us on the Facebook page, and we'll probably have also things taking you right to our House of RC page. As we get information, we'll let you guys know, because we think this is a great race for you guys to watch and check out. And this is, this is the DNC of Europe. And I think this is just such a good race and such a different type of track, different type of racing compared to what we're going to see here in 2 weeks' time. And it just brings back that old European Euro style old school racing that I remember as Euro style racing from back in the day, you know. And I never was a big Euro style fan back in the day, but I am now for some reason. You know, I was like, oh, they need bigger jumps, and I always preferred the American Supercross style, but I still do like that. But I can appreciate tracks like this a lot more now because we don't have many.
Yeah.
So good stuff, Max. I think that's it. Hour and 30 minutes here. I think this is the only pod for this week. Max is super busy with school. We don't really have much to talk about this week. We will be back next week on Monday for a recap of this race and some RC news. I'm flying out next Thursday, so you'll have a podcast for next Friday as well. And then we'll do our DNC coverage, probably starts Tuesday night, Wednesday, I guess. Tuesday we'll be setting up and stuff like that. So I'm getting super excited about DNC. I wish you was going, but you can't. And I'm ready to get to California. I'm ready to see all the people and just have fun. And woo, we're gonna have. If you want to come see us at DNC, look for the high tech tent. That will be headquarters of the NNRC. We'll have shirts, hats, decals for sale, maybe some beanies as well. If you want to come by and just say what's up, come do that. And we look forward to that. I can't wait. I really can't wait. I'm hoping that like nothing goes wrong between now and then. Like I don't get sick. Nothing. You know, I've been so good all this time. Dodged COVID with JQ. You know, all this type of stuff. And I'm just ready to get cracking and get to California because I love California. So
yeah, man.
Good stuff, man. All right, Max. Well, I'm going to let you go. We're going to go on and do our patron-only pod. Thank you to all of the NNRC squad around the world. We can't do it without you guys. Thank you for the support. Please like, sub, notification, dislike, comment, leave reviews, share. We need to get out into the stratosphere, into the algorithms, and spread all the NNRC pixie dust all around and get people excited about RC. Thank you to the patrons of the podcast. You guys got an extra podcast this week. If you wish to be a patron, you can. There's a link in the written description of this podcast. Now, this patron podcast may not even be about RC. You know, it just might be us chatting. So it usually is about RC, though. It usually is about RC.
Most of the time, we done these.
Yeah, so all that good stuff. Remember, everybody, showing the sponsors some love, shows the podcast some love. Simple podcast this week, so we just want to shout out and say Invisible Speed. Check them out, man. Get the books, grab the online course. It's probably one of the greatest tools in your RC arsenal. TZO Tires. Yeah, they're going to be revealed here at DNC, I believe. High Tech RC. Got all my servers. I got those 2 blue ones. They need to go in my boat, which is over here. Big yellow. Going to be doing, probably when I get back from DNC, I'll get all on that. While back on my boats. TNR Fuels. Had a great talk with him last week. You can check that out on episode number 167. Beach RC, be good to see Brent and those guys out there in California. Looking forward to that. Techno RC, Matt and the guys. Lugs Racing Tires, be good to see Bryce and those guys. They had a good weekend up in Pacific Northwest. Be good. This is the first big race setting for all the Mayako guys. Hashtag Mayako movement. JQSM, be good to see Smoker, Dagani, and all those guys again. G-Spec, Race, RC Tuning. Check them out, get your cables. Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, pure traction with Papa Willie's Traction Tonic. There's some coupon codes for that. And G-Spec RC Race, RC Tuning. Racecraft USA, get your command module. Be cool to hang out with those guys. Finally meet Chase and those guys. We have coupon codes for that. Clinic RC, he's going to be their attorney, and his awesome wife, Vicky, they're going to be helping out. JTP RC, he's doing pretty good. Looks, T-Bo's enjoying life. RCGP, House of RC, shout out to my boy RC Kevin. Shout out to the So Dialed app, and shout out to my boy Uncle Eddie's. Get your Uncle Eddie's seasoning right there. And, yeah, good stuff. With that said, Nitro's Glory, Ebuggy pays the meals, Max and Lefty. You got anything to say before we head out, Max?
I'm good. Again, I saw you Chikanai post about respect yourself, love RC. It's amazing.
Yeah, the Kanai. There we go. That's what because Kanai says so. With that, we say short outro, Lefty and Max out.